You are at 36.06253 North by 94.160922 West. Do you see West Mountain Brewery across from you? Do you see the windows on the second story? Imagine it is dusk. There is a secret life in that building. In the early 1900s, those windows glowed a dim kerosene orange, while the streets were beginning to brighten with the advent of the new arc lamps. Horses and cars shared the streets, but you wouldn't hear much happening this time of night, unless you were going to the opera house, in which case the streets would be bustling with hucksters drumming up business. Make yourself cozy. We are going to be here a while. Have a seat next to the flowers while you listen to The Secret Life.
This lovely building was once the Woods Opera House. It had vaudevilles, minstrel shows, early movies, music, dancing, and then it became a JCPenney's. But it has always been a place where people gather.
Oh, folks, we started in sawdust and floundered on velvet. We, us dead performers, deserve glory for making vaudeville the hottest thing in the country for almost a century. Hell, anybody that could sing, dance, whistle, bend in the middle, do a flip-flop, or play an instrument could join the ranks of what we called performers. We came from all walks of life, lured by adventure and the glamour of the stage, and most of all, the dough. The dough meant more to the guys and gals at that time than applause, although the more applause you got, the more dough you got.
The party was given in honor of her 18th birthday, and it was a fine party. Only it was 12 years too late.
But most of us came from poor families. My father had to get up maybe at 5 a.m. to get to work on the farm just before sunup, so being able to sleep until noon had a great appeal to me. It was much nicer work than being a truck driver, a factory hand, a clerk, or a laborer. Earning $25 to $75 a week, a banker's salary in those days, and being able to sleep late, dress flashily, and get applause were hard to resist. So I ran and joined the circus, as they say. And there was lots of work. There were opera shows, store shows, museums, showboats, burlesque shows, or burleys as we called them, dramatic shows, medicine shows, wagon shows, and minstrel shows using variety acts and specialties. The field was large, and there was room for nearly everybody
Sadie
with or
can't
without
stay
talent.
18 forever. It's been a big source of worry for her parents. She's given her mother as many gray hairs as she has herself, and still, Sadie has a wonderful disposition. She's so cheerful, and with a face like that, she deserves a lot of credit. I feel sorry for Sadie. The big romance of her life ended up tragic. It started with young love's dream, full of the warmth of youth's tempestuous love. Anyhow, it turned out very punk. For 2 years, she kept company with a man she'd never met. They made love by correspondence. The wedding
It wasn't all fun. I still have lingering memories of damp basement dressing rooms, layoffs, empty stomachs, long jumps for short dough, sometimes no dough, cancellations after the first show, terrible orchestras, amateur stage hands, lousy boarding houses with cold rooms in winter and hot ones in summer, dirty day coaches with the smell of oil lamps swinging overhead, greasy grub, and worse than all this, flopping. Of course, those few times when I was a big hit, all the other discomforts were forgotten.
Use the nearest crosswalk to go to the inside square of the square and hold there. Go to the opposite corner north of the square inside the square. Walk until you reach the benches and flower beds on the northwest corner of the inside square of the square. Look to your right as you walk. This is the old post office, or the OPO. But this used to be a courthouse. It replaced the old courthouse of 1837, the building that replaced the log cabin that was built on this spot in 1829. The new old courthouse here in the inside square of the square was finished in 1911, and on February 24th, 1912, the U.S. Post Office was very busy because something happened.
In 1912, some big student protests happened on this very spot. A bunch of students were expelled from the university for making a newspaper called The X-Ray that criticized professors and the administration. Crazy stuff for those days.
Dear Mom, every person in Fayetteville seems to be with us. We marched up to every professor's house, led by the Fayetteville and University bands. There were Arkansas pennants hanging from every place in nearly every house. Big signs were put up by the businessmen. We root for the X-Ray. We went to the SAE hall and danced and filed out one at a time and signed the Constitution.
Find the clock just north of you. Point to it. Is it ever the right time? Now, move your finger to the left so that it rests on the green awning across the street, the one just directly catty-cornered to you. That's right. Right there, a young man stood to speak to a large group of people who gathered where you are right now.
What is popularly known as higher education costs an individual at least 4 times and $5,000 in cash. About 1% of the university graduates work their own way. Of necessity, the higher education is within reach of less than 12% of people. Therefore, it stands for caste and exclusion, and to that degree, it is un-American. In the writer's humblest opinion, the greatest good that can be derived from a college course comes directly out of the heart and the life of the teacher. He should be able to inspire, to present the truth red hot from the forge of thought, and to let into the heart and life of the student an influx of light, of feeling, and of knowledge.
In Elizabeth, the students got out a paper called the X-Ray, exposing everything, even to where the money that is supposed to be used for different things had gone. A copy was sent to every senator, congressman, the governor, every officer, newspaper, in every county in the state. Then on Sunday, a copy was sent to Judge Tillman, the chancellor. On Monday, the faculty and the student body in all of Fayetteville got one. Now there's trouble.
Listen to the sound of standing up, the sound of walking for the right to be heard, the ringing of rebellion. It is here in the vibration of the streets. You can feel the zing through secret life. Can you see them? Red-faced from the February wind and the heat of desire for change. Can you see the business owners hang the broadsides in their windows? What is that feeling? That flutter? Is it pride? Or is it adrift? If you are sitting, stand. If you are standing, still stand. Let's stand for the X-Ray. Let's stand for our right to take a stand. Now, let's march. March west on Center. March across Block Street in the direction of the university. That's right.